Hey guys, it's Jamin Kirkwood with Secure Financial Management. Just want to get you out our first economic update for 2020 and discuss a few of the things we've been looking at with our investment management practice and the things that we've been discussing with clients. As always, I say if we're getting these sorts of questions from clients, probably you have similar sorts of questions and we want to spend a few minutes addressing those. So a couple of things we're going to talk about here is systematic risk or the coronavirus, right? We've talked about systematic, non-systematic risk. Whenever we get a systematic risk situation, I like to just highlight it and look at how we view that in an investment portfolio management lens, right? We'll talk about what we're looking at in 2020 and how long this bull market or this upward market has been going, and is that a concern? We have that question from clients a lot. Probably you do as well. Let's talk very quickly, firstly, about systematic risk. You guys have heard me talk many times about systematic and non-systematic risk. And systematic risk is stuff that exists, right? That is going to happen. We don't know it's going to happen. We can't measure it. We can't gauge it. We can't control it. And it's part of just life in an investment portfolio world, right? Coronavirus, great example of that. We don't want to dismiss this and say, forget about it, we can't do anything about it, so we're going to ignore it completely. No, not necessarily, but we don't want to spend massive amounts of energy on something that we can't control and we've got no way to gauge, right? So it's the first thing that I want to highlight to you and let you know how we look at that through an investment portfolio sort of view. Secondly, consider this, all right? And these numbers from a little bit earlier in the month. It's kind of a new scary thing. You don't know how badly it's going to spread, what kind of the fatality rate is and stuff like that. So that's why it's concerning. But since this whole thing, this outbreak happened, something I read recently in the Wall Street Journal was talking about that there's been 800 deaths from this coronavirus. That's sad, of course. But let's look at it in comparison. This season, just in this country, the flu's taken out 10,000 people, right? That's something that we just accept because it happens all the time and it's not that much of a shock. Sad, but we know that those are the sorts of numbers that the flu can cause fatalities for. So let's look at it at a larger level, right? At a higher level and say, all right, we've got this unknown virus. The impact of it in real numbers has not been that significant, while sad hasn't been that significant. So let's not blow it out of proportion and get too worried about it, okay? We're gonna keep our eye on it, but the numbers that we have to gauge, which is very little, right? With these sorts of things, we're on systematic risk, we don't have a lot of things to gauge. Those are the numbers we can see so far, and they're not enough to really concern us or panic us from the investment portfolio point of view, okay? The second thing I wanna talk to you about is, you've probably been asking yourself this question a lot. We're getting it from clients a lot. You turn the TV on to one of the financial channels, you'll see it. If you pick up an investment magazine or a paper, you're gonna see it, is this bull market has been going for a long time. Is it time to get out, right? Have we got everything we can out of it and it's time to leave? Okay, so first of all, we've talked about this before, right? When we look at expansions in the market, we look at the fact that these expansions, or a bull market, whatever you want to call it, they don't die of old age, they die of factors that hamper the economy's ability to grow. Okay, a couple things. High interest rates can cause expansion, lending, businesses to hire and build new plants. That can cause a problem. We don't have high interest rates right now, okay? Inflation getting too high can also be a problem. The Fed actually has the other problem right now. They're trying to boost inflation and get that up closer to their target of 2%. They've had trouble doing that. So we don't have high inflation. We've got full employment. And I get accused sometimes of being too optimistic and say, everything's fine, we don't have to worry about anything. And it's not that. But we want to look at what are the metrics. Let's not just look at the fact that this bull market has been expanding for some time. I've talked about this in one of my videos last year, is that there have been ups and downs, right, in this market. It hasn't been just straight linear up. The end of 2008, we had a 19.7%. You could basically call that a bear market, right? A 19.7% dip in the S&P 500. Technically 20% is considered a bear market. 19.7, I'll round it up and call that a bear market. So have we already had that happen, right? Have we already had that kind of dip? and it's just happened a lot faster than what we're used to. Instead of that playing out over 18 months or 12 months, it took about 3 to 4 months. We've talked about in the past too that things are happening quicker, right? Economic cycles, trading, it's all happening quicker. So if we already got that correction or that bear market out of the way, I'm not going to make a definitive decision on it, but I'd say there's a good case to be made that that has already happened, right? And the reason I focus on this is what we're hearing from clients and people that are bringing their investments over to us at the moment is that, well, I've been talking to my investment guy that I've had, and they've kind of been saying, well, the market's been going up for a while, it must be about time, to get out, and they've been saying that since 2015, right? And they've lost a ton of upside potential because of that. I'm not trying to belittle anybody here, but whoever you're working with, make sure it's more than, well, it's about time. What other metrics are being used, right? Hopefully there's something else that they're engaging with us, with that. They're not just looking at how long has this bull market been going on for. They're looking at the other metrics that can indicate the need to get more conservative in portfolios. That's what we're doing for our clients. Guys, I hope this has helped out. As always, none of what we talk about here should be taken as an investment recommendation. If you'd like to discuss your personal financial situation, give us a call at the office, 210-428-6250. We'd be happy to